Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo of the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started with a very special open mic live. But first, as always, a word from our sponsors.
At InDigital, we know the public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI net goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Here in Greenville County, we have 8 different places where a 911 call can be answered.
It is the largest county in South Carolina. It's a challenge.
The type of information that a telecommunicator gets from Radius Plus is location-based technology. You can see where the caller is, if they have a medical issue, if they speak a different language. They're immediately able to text to that caller in their native language. It reduces response times because it immediately gets first responders where they need to be.
Carbine, it's multimedia. You can get text, translate to whatever language, getting away with the legacy equipment and going into a cloud-based solution.
It's the first time in U.S. history that we have an EZNet through cloud-native call handling.
As a police officer, to have the victim go video, that's unheard of.
You're getting upgrades every month, not every year.
To schedule your free Carbine demo, please visit carbine.com/WTT.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Oh shit, here we go. We are about to start Open Mic Live. Thank you all very so much for joining us here. I am here with my good buddy, Matthew Pitney, and we are live from the Marshall County Sheriff's Office here in Indiana. And this is the first time doing this on location, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you very much, man, for the invite. This is going to be good.
Thank you for coming, man. We're excited. I've been talking it up. We've got, a few dispatchers and a few jailers there watching us, and yeah, we're looking forward to this.
This is going to be good. And also, it's National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, so I just want to say thank you for coming out tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, man, this is going to be good. So this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, Rapid Deploy, as well as Carbine. And big shout out to patrons, as always, for everything. Appreciate it so very much. And, just to start out, man, for people who are joining in, how did you get your start in public safety? Let's get a little bit of information on you before we get into some of the funny stories that we're going to be sharing.
My very first experience in public safety was as a volunteer fireman 25 years ago.
I like how you do that. You're like 25 years ago.
Yeah. And then a buddy of mine who's a police officer talked me into applying at the Montgomery County Jail in Dayton, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And I worked there until I married my wife and moved out here. And then I was a police officer for a little while, been a volunteer fireman for ever, and did some EMT stuff. And then through circumstances, I ended up working at the Marshall County Sheriff's Department in the jail, and then was blessed to become the 911 director here.
Nice, man. So you've been 911 director for how long now?
13 years.
13 years. Damn,
Yes.
yo. So then out of all the time that you've been here, I'm sure you've got a lot of stories that you can share. But first, before we get to that, for everybody who's watching right now, again, thank you for joining us, as always, for Open Mic Live. And as always, we check in with each other. It's Thursday. How are you doing? How are you feeling? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, of course, and 10 feeling awesome, how are you? I'm already at a 10. This is awesome. And we're gonna share some funny stories here, but also make sure to throw in some reactions. Share this broadcast to either your feed or your favorite dispatch page. So for you, how are you feeling, man? On a scale of 1 to 10, how have things been?
I'm going to say, actually, right at the moment, I'm about a 9.
Nice.
Maybe if I can get some of that alcohol from over there, it'd be about a 10. But
excellent. Yeah. So for those who are watching right now, I mean, you can't see, of course, what's on the back side of the camera, but there are tons of food. There are people hanging out. There are prizes that are being giving out and everything. And what are some of the prizes that are over there?
Well, and all of these prizes were donated by local businesses.
Really?
Everybody is getting a gift bag that has a little tumbler in it, and some sanitary wipes and hand sanitizer, that kind of stuff. But we've got a shiatsu massage cushion chair. We have spa sessions, tanning sessions, some IPAs that were donated by some of the local
there you go
establishments, several bottles of some harder stuff, all donated.
Excellent.
We've got some Leatherman tools, we've got t-shirts, we've got bags with workout equipment in it,
everything,
hats. I mean, it's the businesses here in Marshall County were just absolutely wonderful to us. I think we ended up with enough for everybody to get 2 prizes.
That's pretty awesome, man. And especially because of the fact that even those who were unable to make it, for everything that's going on right now, there are bags for them as well. So for you, for your background and for your people and everything that they do for the community and such, what is this? What does it mean to you to be able to do this for your folks, and of course for all of them for this week?
Sure. Every year we've always done something, and some years a little more than others. But I started out several years ago buying ice cream. The first time I bought ice cream, I thought, okay, I got to make sure there's enough for everybody. There's 3 shifts. So I bought a gallon of chocolate, a gallon of vanilla, and a gallon of the chocolate vanilla strawberry.
Nice. Yes.
I brought a gallon for each shift. So I bought 9 gallons of ice cream.
Oh, shit.
We had ice cream until June.
Oh, dude. Right. Especially if you've got folks who are kind of like me, who are lactose intolerant. I mean, even in dispatch, I still would have eaten it. I still would have eaten it.
Well, as we know from some of your previous stories, there was a bathroom really close.
Oh my Lord. Yes. The Red Bomb, Red Bull. I just shared that story yesterday with a room full of dispatchers in Sandusky, Ohio for their conference over there. It was hilarious. I had asked, I was like, has anyone heard this story before? And no one rose. One person had heard about it. So I was like, all right, well, that'll be the ending. That'll be the story. So make sure to tell that. Now I'm going to look back in here in some of the comments. So we've got people who are checking in. As always, roll call. Where are you watching from? So roll call. There are some who know the game, like James is up in here, South Jersey in the house. He says, Lavelle saying, hi, y'all. Mandy here from Western Colorado. So that is awesome. And people are like, where's lunch? Toby Ortman, he says, where's the pizza party at? Well, it's
right
in
here.
The back. Yeah, it's
in Marshall
actually
County,
over
man.
there. Yeah, it's over here. And let's see. So folks are saying they're at an 8. Lavelle says, man would be a 10 if we were celebrating with you guys. Yes. Well, I mean, technically you are. You're celebrating here with us. And so others checking in. We've got some at a 10. Let's see. Fuzz here says shits for days. I'm assuming he's talking about the You must be talking about my story. Unless you're lactose intolerant as well, then that's what you're talking about too. Let's see. Deborah's here out of Virginia. Roxy's here from the Prairie. Very nice. Fuzz out of Florida, and Katie out of Waukesha. See, I said it right. Make sure to tell Christine that I said that right. And then Tina saying howdy. So we've got a bunch of people here who are watching and listening. So this is going to be good. We're going to be getting into the stories here in just a moment, but there is something that I want to share, and hopefully I'm able to share this here to be able to do this. And when I do this, I got to start it out with this and just say that dumb people do dumb things. So make sure to laugh along with me and as well as Snoop Dogg on hashtag So Dumb It's Criminal. This is going to be streaming April 20th on Peacock TV. So make sure to check that out, because I mean, what other day would it be perfect for a show that's hosted by Snoop Dogg to come out on 420?
Absolutely.
Right? So with that said, I want to share a clip here really quick from this show that is coming up, and then I'll mention why I'm also showing this that is going on here. So I'm going to put this on the screen, and of course, this freaking thing is not going to let me do it now. So I'm just going to share it, or you can hear it. You should be able to hear it. We are going to watch it, and then I'll share it so that you can see it as well.
It's your boy Big Snoop Double G, and I'd like to welcome y'all to So Dumb It's Criminal. I'll be showing you some dumb people doing some dumb things that landed them in trouble. They put him over for that? Wow. Say hello to a jury of my peers.
Don't mess with the ladies.
Oh, she literally kicked his ass. And the face.
That's always hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm with UPS. You don't even believe your own self. Santa on stilts.
Who steals a tree?
Three motherfuckers just jump off a motorcycle. What are they trying to break into? They broke into his head.
Oh, jeez. So there it is, the Peacock original coming out 4/20, and that is hosted by Snoop Dogg. Hopefully all of you were able to hear that. It should have gone through just like we were able to hear it as well. For whatever reason, my browser was not letting me share the video on there. But as soon as this is over, I will make sure to share the video with all of you, this clip on this new show that is hosted by Snoop Dogg. And the reason that I'm showing it is because last summer I was flown out to record a segment for this show.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. But from what I was told, they're not sure if my stuff made it. And even if it didn't, it was still an amazing experience. But again, I'll make sure to put it out there so that you can see it. And they could hear it. Okay, good. Fuzz says loud and clear. All right, awesome. Well, it's going to be a funny show. There were tons of stories that I shared, and but there was a lot of footage that was also put out there for it. So again, you'll be seeing it here pretty soon. It'll be next week, Wednesday, 4/20, that So Dumb It's Criminal is going to be on there. So make sure to check that out. It's going to be hilarious. So as we're talking about, Tina here says, "Oh, gee, I wonder why Snoop chose 4/20." I don't know. I'm not sure. But as we're talking about dumb
let me give you a hint.
Yeah, I know. Right?
He likes the green ganj.
Yes, the green, that green herb. In all of your time, what are some of the dumb criminal stories that you have, or possibly just any like funny stuff? Because that's what Open Mic Live is all about. We end up coming on here to forget about the bullshit in the world for about an hour and just share some of the lighter side of dispatch.
Yeah. So probably, maybe not so much a dumb criminal, but stupidest dumb person I've ever heard about.
Yeah.
I told you this story a little bit ago. Guy was decided he was going to play Superman with his wife, and so they're both naked. She's laying on the bed, and he climbs up onto the dresser, wearing nothing but a cape. And he decides he's going to jump off the cape, fly through the air, and land on top of her, and they would have their evening.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great plan, right?
I mean, sure. Yeah. Well, let's get it on.
Yeah. Well, he forgot about the ceiling fan that was turned on.
Oh my
and it
God.
Caught his cape. And as he landed on top of her, the ceiling fan come out of the ceiling, landed on him, and knocked him out. And so she was trapped underneath him, the ceiling fan, get parts of the ceiling. I had to call 911 from there.
Dude, okay. So for those of you who are watching and listening right now, in the comments, I want to know what you think about this, and if you've had anything similar, because I'm sure this is people want to keep it fresh, right? They want to keep it fresh and everything. But I mean, so when you told the story originally, you said there was a cape, and for whatever reason, I pictured the entire suit. I pictured the person, because they're role playing, right? So
right,
I figured he was wearing the entire thing, but he was only wearing a cape. Oh my God.
That's not something you want to picture there.
No. And so, okay. So the person is on the table and they jump and he gets caught in the fan.
Yes.
What the hell? I don't get that. But so he got caught, and of course the weight and everything is pulling everything down as well as part of the. So how did she call? Like if we're trying to imagine it right now, you can see someone laying there with another body on them, and however big the cape may be. You know, it would be funny if it was like the cape was like this big. It was like all real tiny, you know, a real tiny cape, not really anything else. And then, he's knocked out. There's pieces of the fan and everything all over the place. And then she's trying to reach for the phone.
If I remember, this was quite a few years ago. People still used to keep those little, I'm imagining one of those little plastic bedside phones.
Yes.
So, the old landline plastic.
Right.
$10 at Walmart.
Yes.
I'm imagining that's what she's trying to reach for.
Oh my Lord. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, because this happened, man. Very early 2000, maybe late 90s.
Geez. So there definitely was no Siri or nothing to be able to assist.
Yeah, you weren't calling Alexa to call 911.
Right. Yeah. No, you're there and you're stuck. And Fuzz here says, Edna says, no capes. And then James says, faster than a speeding bullet. Well, that could be disappointing. Oh, you're right. You're right. In this instant, yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
Faster than a speeding bullet. However, this person was taken out by the fan and ceiling.
Yeah.
So
talk about your fans.
Yeah. Hank over here says bath towel with 2 clothespins.
Now I'm picturing Captain Underpants.
Right. Yes, exactly, man. Oh my God, that is hilarious.
So that makes me think of another story. So our first sergeant was a detective. He just was recently promoted first sergeant.
Yeah.
And so he was at home one night, and then early in the morning, he gets woken up by his dog going nuts. And he says he thought it was one of his daughters coming in from work or something like that. He gets up, walks out, and there's this lady standing in his kitchen. He goes, here I am. He goes, I don't have my gun or nothing. I'm standing there in my tidy whities. So we took a picture and posted his face on Captain Underpants and posted it around the department.
Oh, dude, that is amazing. See, that's the love that you get from your brothers and sisters in public safety. You end up, you'd never live stuff down.
Oh, no.
No, you can't live it down. Going back to that first story really quick, do you remember how that was dispatched? Like, I mean, the person was passed out, so it's got to be a medical, right?
Probably with a lot of laughter in the background.
Probably, yeah. So how would you put it out? And those who are watching and listening right now, how would you put that out over the radio? Because this is obviously, this is going to be a medical. The person is injured, right? They're passed out. They call 911 because they need help. So how would you put this out over the radio?
Boy, unconscious male man of steel.
Unconscious man of steel.
He found his kryptonite.
Oh man, yes. His one fan was kryptonite. Oh my Lord. Yeah, because because when you put the lady on hold, because she's probably embarrassed as hell too.
Oh, yeah.
And because she's the one who's got to tell this story, and then you're trying not to laugh. You got to stay professional as much as possible, and then you put them on hold. You're thinking, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like, is it a full moon? Like, how is this going down?
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know I could do it. I mean, I was never one that was really great at keeping a straight face when I was dispatching something funny, and so yeah,
see, and it was hard for me too. There was a couple. I think I've told this story maybe once on this show, but there was a call that I had taken, and it was a guy who was a semi driver, and he had stopped at a rest area, and I don't know how this happened, and it might have been last week or the week before that I told this, but he went to zip up his pants after using the restroom, and he got his shit stuck. But I didn't go any further. Like, well, dude, how did you actually do that? Like, are you commando or going commando? Like, how did you do it? I didn't go that far into it, but he was in a lot of pain. So I put him on hold, and I'm pretty sure it was during training, because my one of my trainers was listening to it, and I said, how do I give that out? Like, I'm not even sure. And she goes, just say penis problems. And I did, but after I said it and after I was done with the call, she's like, I didn't think you were going to do it. I was like, well, you told me to say it. I mean, I'm in training, so of course I'm going to say it. But yeah, it was one of those things.
That makes me think of two different stories. First off, the training and your trainer's doing exactly what you say, even though they shouldn't. I was training a young man one time, and he gave a location, and the officer says, let's say it was Fur Road, and such and such number Fur Road, and the officer says, Marshall, what's the closest road to the house? And meaning he wanted the crossroad, right?
Right. Yes.
Me and the other guy that were training this guy, being a bunch of smart asses, said Fur Road, because it's the closest one to the house.
Yeah.
And before we can stop him, he reaches up, keys up, goes Fur Road.
Fur Road.
And we're like, it's one of those slow motion diving across, trying to stop him, and we're like, no, he's looking for the crossroad. And the one deputy that was asking for this was not known for his sense of humor.
Oh.
And we thought, oh God, we're going to die. And there was this long pause. And he keys up. He goes, "I'm sorry, Marshall. I was looking for the crossroad." We're like, "Tell him the cross." We told him the crossroad. It just, before you get that stop now.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of times when you say stuff and it comes out, you're like, "Oh, that was funny," and then nobody says anything. You're like, "Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said it." And sometimes you end up getting a phone call afterwards from the sergeant. They're like, "Dude, don't do it again." I'm like, "Okay." But that's what happens, right? We try to have fun, try to break up the monotony that can be this job sometimes.
So one of my buddies one day gets a call from a lady that's having some vaginal bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a serious issue, needs to go to the hospital.
Right.
And so two issues with this dispatch. The first thing is he dispatches it as vaginal bleeding, which he is now forever constantly reminded that it's always, is that vaginal? But then he said, she's requesting you come in the back door.
Oh no. What's hilarious about that is that I told the story yesterday at the Ohio conference when I was doing the open mic portion of it, and it was something similar where I was on the radio, and it was one of our canine officers who was going out to I think it was like a noise complaint, or I don't remember what it was. It was a non-emergency one that he was going out to, and I said something similar, and I said, caller advised that when you arrive, you can use her back door, and but I didn't realize what I had said, and of course, because I didn't mean it like that, I didn't think anything of it. But I hear everybody laughing, and I thought I must have. Maybe I like messed up my words or something. I don't know. But then the canine officer ends up keying up, and he says, Central, can you repeat? And I repeated it exactly the way I said it. And then he keyed up and he starts laughing and he goes, 10-4 Central, I'll be en route and make sure to, I don't remember the rest of what he said, but everybody's laughing. I was like, what the hell are you guys laughing at? And they said, how did you say that? And I said it again and I thought, oh shit. There's those moments where you're on the radio and you say stuff and you don't mean it the way it sounds, but it comes out wrong.
There's millions of those. I mean, one of the gals that wasn't able to be here tonight, she wanted me to tell this story. So she actually has two different ones. One, she had a guy that was having pain on the right side of his ribs.
Yeah.
And she put it out as he was having pain in his right ribeye.
On his right ribeye?
Yeah. I'm guessing that was a searing pain.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Oh geez, that is hilarious. See, and there's a lot of stuff like that. So for all of you who are watching and listening right now, any funny 911 stories or any stuff like that where you mess up on the radio, please throw that in there and we will read it. So there is one here that I don't know if I want to read it, but the person says had an older male who called in embarrassed that he had a ring stuck around his junk.
Oh.
And the person asked the caller to repeat it, and he said that he had this this ring stuck around his junk, and he couldn't get it off. Which makes it worse because the words continue to build upon this. And so they send medics out. And the funny thing was the rookie on what? Oh, on the truck was a former dispatcher. And they made him cut it off.
Oh.
And the person who wrote it here says, not so super, man. Oh, that's messed up, man. You had the newer person do it and they were a former dispatcher. Did they do that just because that's messed up?
I can feel that pain.
Dude, that is a crazy story. Lauren, what's going on? Hello, friend. Missed you as well. Welcome back. We've make sure to throw in some reactions in here. And again, any funny 911 stories that you have, please do so. Again, happy National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. It has been awesome. It's also been awesome to see all of you sharing. What? Yes, they did. Fuzz is saying yes, they did. That's why they did it. That's messed up. What a funny story. But a funny story though. That is still good stuff. But back to the fact that, this week has been an excellent week. I've been seeing all of your guys' pictures and everything else going on, and then being here and seeing everything that they're doing, that is excellent. And, it does suck though, that there are some places that still don't do things. And I'm not sure why, it could be anything, but just know that all of you are fucking amazing and you do an amazing job, and just don't ever let anyone tell you different, because not everybody can do this job. And some of those out in the field, they say they can, but then they get in there and they last for like an hour.
Yeah.
But there are some that can do both, and that is awesome. So thank you all again for everything that you do. I've got another story in here that said, I once paged my fire department to a smell of natural gas. No matter how many times I said it, I couldn't get gas out, and said glass about 4 times. Oh, I can just imagine that. Being routed to such and such address for natural glass that is going on. That is funny. And I even read it that way. I read it natural gas, but she actually wrote natural glass. So that's hilarious that I read it the way it was supposed to be, but you actually wrote it the way you said it. So that's funny there. I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that I would say. Like we had one time, one of my trainers. So I don't know how you guys say it here, and I think it's different in every place. But when you're talking on the radio and you say something wrong, we would always say check or check that.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure why. But I would do it because everybody else did it. So I remember there was one time that someone was saying, check that. And she said it like 4 times.
and I'm not sure what was wrong. I knew that she had taken like some medication before that or something, like just stuff that she usually takes. Nothing crazy.
No Snoop Dogg med.
No, none of those meds. But she ended up. She was talking, and then she's like, check, and then went to say something else, and she goes, check, and then like 2 more times she said check, and I'm sitting there watching her. I'm like, what the hell is your problem? Like, check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Exactly, man. And she finally got it out and everything. And then when she unkeyed, the officers were just like, 10-4, we'll be en route.
We'll check that.
Yeah, we'll check that on the way there. And she looks at me and I was like, are you all right? She goes, I don't know what just happened. I was like, did you black out? I was like, I thought you were, stroking out or something. You just kept saying check.
Sometimes you just got to go to the that's all, folks.
Right. Yeah. Something or unkey, take a deep breath and get back in the game. So we've got here, let's see, Lawrence says, for the places that aren't celebrated by management or other agencies, refer to them as Hot Vegas baloney from now on. At least get a giggle every time you have to interact. Let's see. Jessica here says that's definitely a dispatcher thing.
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah.
I've got a story on Jessica.
Oh no.
So back
I have nothing to do with this.
So back when I was a rookie police officer, Jessica was my dispatcher. And one of the other officers at the time sent me a little message over the MDT and said, when Jessica calls you, play along. Okay. So she calls me up and she goes, he told me to tell her that that we need to activate the HFAS, which is the heavy fog alert system. So she calls me, not knowing that he had sent me that message.
Right.
She goes, have you heard of the HFAS?
She wrote it right here. She knows exactly what you're talking about. It's amazing. Okay, go ahead.
She says, hey, do you know what the HFAS is? I said, the heavy fog alert system. I said, why are we activating that? And she goes, hey, it's not a thing. I said, yeah. She goes, how do you do it? I go, I'm new. I just remember them talking about it. I don't know how to do it. So we messed with her for a good 15, 20 minutes before she's like, I don't believe you guys.
Oh my Lord. Oh, that is great. And I love the fact that she remembered it and she put that there in the comments too. That is funny shit. I have, so we did a couple pranks as well early on, and I'll get to that here in just a moment. But so yeah, she says it's a dispatcher thing, and then Lavelle here says we toned fire department about 3:34 a.m. to a man choking on chicken. That didn't make the fire department happy, but dispatch was laughing. Oh, I can just imagine. Let's see. Jessica says reading in a different context. And then Lawrence says, we say stroked out. Danny here says, we had a restaurant called the Naughty Pine. I said, potty 9. Several times over the air. I could not say it correct no matter how many times I tried to correct myself. That is amazing. That is great. I probably would have done the same thing, because I was one of those dispatchers who wouldn't always read what was in the complaint when I'm on radios, and I would just key up and start reading it. And then I would get to something like that, and I kind of chuckle and then unkey, or sometimes I would chuckle and just be like, and then start again. And then someone would send a message and say, you didn't read it again, did you? I'm like, no, man, I didn't. I am sorry. And let's see, Lauren says, and why can we never unkey when we get stuck? I just like what I was saying. Like, yeah, I think so. For me, the reason I would not unkey when I would get stuck or I would mess something up is because I would start to chuckle, for one, and two, the reason I did it is because I would take away the power of those who were laughing at me. Now they're laughing with me, or at least that's the way I felt.
It's your story. You paint it any way you want.
Exactly. Yes. Let's see. Fuzz says, had taken a call from a frequent flyer that called. She was in a wheelchair and says she's in pain. I asked where, and she said, I asked where, and she said the pain was in the ass. I put that in the notes,
and had the fire dispatcher send it out. He had a trainee and had her dispatch it out with a female with a pain in the ass. Cue the medic to key back up and say, "Central, please repeat. My MDT is down." She said it out on the air again. Of course. Oh, that is great. That is great.
Swearing on the air, that's always great too.
Have you done that? Did you do? Well, you don't have to admit that. You don't have to admit that.
You haven't been in our dispatch center yet, but we do not have those nice lights that tell you when somebody's keyed up. And I'm that supervisor that will walk through and go, "What did that dumb motherfucker say?" And it never fails. That's when somebody's trying to dispatch.
Whoops. Yes. Oh my Lord, dude. Yes. No, we had a few times as well where somebody would be saying something, walking around in general, not even talking about work or whatever.
Yeah.
Or an officer who was like, sounded like they were eating a mic, and that's how we would respond. And they're like, "Dude." And then they would unkey. I'm like, "Oh no." And then of course there's either a phone call or I end up getting an MCT. Like, "Dude, why are you being a dick?" I'm like, "Why are you eating your microphone?" I wouldn't have said it if you were not eating your microphone. But yes. So it's, after what you said, Lauren says, "Can we be friends?" Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Let's see. Shannon says, "Joins this at the wrong time, choking on chicken." That's right. When she joined in, it was to hear that. That is funny. Jessica also says, "Some things never die."
Never, Jessica, never.
Yes. Lauren says, "Excuse me, Mr. Ricky Ricardo, but I need a pair of them there Chucks." Oh, yeah. People are talking about my Converse.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
I have some custom Chuck Taylors that are black and gold, and in gold it says #IM911. A lot of people have been asking about them, and I will tell you soon enough how I got those. Maybe Converse can help us out. But yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff. Some of the pranks that we did in dispatch. So one of the ones that happened to me, dude, early on when I was in dispatch, and I was just getting out of training, and I was nervous. And this is Central Florida. One dispatcher on for 8 hours, a small little police department. And I remember I was sitting there, and the lieutenant is next to me doing some paperwork. Get a phone call that the bank is being like held up. And dude, I immediately like go into business mode, and I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. And the lieutenant, like, he sits up and he's like freaking out, and I'm get ready, put it out. And I should have known that something was up, because the officer who was on duty, he starts running like this. He's like this, running and going outside. I was like, why is he running like that? Why is he not running like full blown to get into his damn cruiser? And he's like, "I'll be on my way." I was like, "Okay, nonchalant." All right. And I'm still taking information, and I hear laughing in the background. And I was like, I looked over at the lieutenant and I said, "Ard, I think someone's messing around with me or something." And he turns around, and there's the sergeant to the side of us, busting up, because she was the one who was on the phone laughing about it. And he turns around and looks at me, and he goes, "Ricardo, we've been had." And I slammed the phone down. I was like, "What the hell was that all about?" And they're like, "Well, we noticed that you were nervous, so we wanted to play around with you a little bit." I was like, "You made it worse." I was like, "Come on, man." But it did help. It was funny, but still, like, if I had heard that voice again, I'd been like, "This is Sergeant." But no, it was funny though. But still, it freaked me the hell out, man.
We don't necessarily tend to mess. We do mess with each other. Like, I used to have some dispatchers that would like to, like, one day I'm sitting in my office, I pick up the phone, and I'm like, "Marshall County Sheriff's Department, this is Matt." And they're like, "This is Lowe's, you called us." I'm like, "No, my phone rang, you called me." And what I found out was happening was my dispatcher was bored in there, called Lowe's, and transferred it to my office.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome.
These are the same guys that also love to mess with the spam telephone calls.
Oh, yeah,
And,
yeah.
Like, so when people would call in and be like, this guy, he goes, did you get the number? And then they would call these guys and just mess with them for hours. You keep calling them back until they wouldn't answer anymore.
Oh, my Lord.
And they would, they say they'd call them and say, yeah, my name's John McClain, or now they're not here anymore, and now we get all these calls from the spammers because our number has probably been passed around to everybody.
Oh, dude, yeah. So for those who are watching as well, do you like to mess around with some of these callers? Because like for me, I had a few of them call, and it would be like the newspaper, and it would be somebody calling to see if you want a subscription.
Yeah.
So I would answer the phone, and I would say, Allegan Central, this is Ricardo. And apparently they didn't hear Allegan Central, and they would just say, oh, yes, sir. I was just calling because I have an excellent deal for you. And I would immediately go on. I want to hear about this. And they would say, oh, okay, this is great. Do you get the Sunday paper? And would keep going on and on and on. I was like, this sounds like an amazing deal. And they said, oh, what is your address? Maybe we can get somebody out there. And I said, okay. And I said, I can't actually give you the address, but I can give you my phone number, and maybe you can get it from there. And they're like, okay, for sure. What's your phone number? And I said, well, it's 911. And then there would be silence. And sometimes the people would just hang up, and other times they would say, no, this can't be. And I said, oh, no, but it is. This is Allegan County Central Dispatch, and you called their non-emergency line, but this is also 911. Oh, my God, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, then don't call back.
Yeah.
Like, do not call back.
We had one guy that he called us a couple times, didn't believe that we were the sheriff's department.
Uh-huh.
And like, he's cussing with us and going, and he was obviously from another country. He go, what is sheriff? What is sheriff? And he was cussing at us and like, we are the police. We will arrest you. And he's like, after about the third time, he's like slamming down the phone on us. And
oh, man. Some of those end up leading to some of the most funny stories, though, as well. When you're messing when people are messing with you, but then you also say where you're from, just like the one guy with the newspaper. So I got one here that says, I had issues. Oops. Let me scroll back up. I had issues not reading a call before giving it out. I had a unit ask what EMS was responding to. Without reading it first, I pulled it up and said they are responding to a male with a laceration. The mic stuck. I said, damn, he walked into a pole. So that went over the air when you said that because the mic got stuck open. Oh, no, that sucks. Let's see. Lauren here says, just say missed it one more time. There you go. That was just for you. Lavelle says, we transfer the spammers to the jail.
That's happened too here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. See, Lauren says, Steven with a V gets hung the hell up on. Ain't not a dispatcher in that center wants to talk to that man. Sorry, dude. Our phones are what? Methed? And then click. And okay, good. She liked it. Yep. Missed it. That was just for you. Love you as well. Let's see. Fuzz says, I had one that called me. Wait, what? I had one that called my on-call phone when I worked as a death investigator. They would call and be pushy, and I would ask if they had a death to report. As it was the medical examiner's office, they immediately hung up. That is perfect. One of the other times when I was in training during this time at Allegan Central Dispatch, and one of the detectives called up, and he said, we are all hanging out at a party, and one of our newest detectives is on call, and he's really nervous about this weekend. So we want you to do something for us. And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, I'm new here, man. And he's like, that's fine. It's okay. It'll be all right. I was like, oh, that's shit. I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? And he says, well, all I want you to do is give him a call and tell him that there's a call that you guys are putting out and he needs to get there as fast as possible. He goes, I don't care how you do it, but just do it. And I said, okay. And so I waited for a few minutes, and I looked over at my trainer, and I said, so-and-so wants me to do this. And she goes, well, just do it. You'll be one of the guys after that. And I was like, yeah, but I just started here, man, and I'm in training, and I don't want to get in trouble. And she's like, if he's the one who told you to do it, don't worry. You're not going to get in trouble. It's like, oh, my God. All right, I'm going to take a shot. So I did. I called the dude up, and he's like, hey, Ricardo, what's going on? And I said, hey, man, we've got a real bad call that we're about to put out right now. And mind you, at the time, there was nothing going on, so I wasn't sure how this was going to go. However, right in the middle of my conversation with him, as I'm making stuff up, we tone out for a call, and it just happened to work out. And I said, did you hear that tone? And he goes, I did. I heard the tone. I can't hear what they're saying right now because I'm kind of freaking out. And I was like, dude, you'll be all right. You just need to get over to, whatever address as soon as you can. And this is what you're going to be dealing with. And I hang up with him, and my trainer goes, I can't believe you did it. I was like, you told me to do it. You said I'd be one of the guys, man. So I waited, and I was like, this guy's going to hate me for the rest of my life now. He's going to make dispatch just a hell for me. And the one detective who originally called in, he calls up, and I said, hey, and he's laughing. Everyone is dying laughing in the background. And I said, I take it everything is okay. And he goes, Ricardo, that was masterful. That was great. He goes, well done, man. Well done. And I hear the one dude in the background going, you suck, dude. And ever since that time, we were all like real good friends and stuff. But dude, I was rolling the dice there I was afraid that I was going to get canned or just get in trouble, or that dude was just not going to like me anymore after that.
I had a couple of my dispatchers pull one on me. We had one of our prior sheriffs had mentioned to me at least on more than one occasion that we would not ever be union while he was sheriff.
Oh.
And I was on vacation, and these two jokesters put on the whiteboard in dispatch, we were looking at starting a union. Contact your union rep, Matt Pitney.
Oh.
The sheriff came in, took one look at it, and he says, what is this all about? Straight face, I look at him and go, oh, you'll have to talk to Matt. I come back from vacation on Monday.
Oh, no.
And I had a habit. I would walk down the hall and walk past the sheriff's office, morning sheriff, because he was one of those sheriffs that he was in at like 6:00 in the morning every morning.
Yeah.
And morning sheriff, Matt, come in here. I need to talk to you. And and he asked me about it. I'm like, no. I said, I don't know anything about it, but I know who did it. And if you'll give me 5 minutes, I'm going to go kill him.
Right. I'll bring it right to you.
It took him a couple minutes of being a little skeptical. And I said, no, sir.
Oh, my Lord, dude.
I think he was prepared to walk me out the door that day. I'm like,
oh, man.
I walk in there and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they just laughed.
Oh, dude, that is hilarious. We had other times where, I was always happy to be the one to do it, especially after that first one, because it made it fun after that. Yeah. And then the sergeants knew that if they asked me to do something, I would definitely do it. So, a couple more things, like one of the times I'm on radios, and they were looking for one of the canine officers, and they knew where he was at, but they wanted me to call him over the radio. So they're like, can you check on Canine 1? And I said, you just want me to do a status check? And they're like, yeah, just do a status check. And he's already chuckling. I was like, you know where he's at, don't you? And he's like, just do it, dude. I was like, all right. He goes, I promise you it'll be funny. I was like, okay, well, if it's going to be funny, then of course, let's do it. So Elegant Central to Canine 1 status. And you hear, status okay, code brown. And you could hear the echo. You could hear the echo from the bathroom. And I just started busting up laughing and keyed up while laughing still. And just at 10-4, clear your code brown.
We used to do that to each other. It was always 10-6 paperwork.
See, and we always use 10-1. Because 1 and 2, right, and then 3, so it'd be 10-1, 10-2, and if you were 10-3, we're like, Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck. I hope you have enough paper wherever you're at.
Do you need assistance? Should we call EMS?
Yeah.
How many burritos did you eat?
Yes. And how many energy drinks did you add with that as well? Let's see. One of them here says, one of my techs answer our IT department, calls coroner's office. You stab them, I'll slap them. I heard it when I first transferred to the PD and almost stroked out, not knowing it was the IT department. That's a good one right there. Very nice. Another one here says, one of our guys played along with a spammer and got him so flustered, the spammer yelled out a lot of bad cuss words and hung up on the dispatcher. See, and those are good too, because then you can end up pulling those tapes.
Oh yeah.
and then you have them, especially, other trainees that are coming in and stuff. I
have a couple of those still on my desk.
Do you really?
Not the spammers, but different calls where something's gone out over there that shouldn't have. I like to keep those.
I might have to FOIA that. Freedom of information.
Yeah. I won't even make you fill out the form. I'd probably share it.
Yes. There you go. Let's see. We got one here that says, I just had my sergeant answer his cell phone. Halfway through the conversation, he said, can I call you back? I'm 10200. I hung up with a word and died in my office. The hell are you answering mid Hershey Kids production?
Yeah, I have a strict rule. I don't answer the phone in the bathroom.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. So the only time I have answered the phone in the bathroom is if my brother calls. So if this is so bad, I can't believe I'm even saying this. If I'm on the can and my brother calls, I immediately send him to voicemail. But if he immediately calls back, then it's got to be an emergency or something. Right. And I'll answer the phone and he'll say, dude, are you in the can? I'm like, yeah, I am. All right, well, just let me tell you this really quick. I'm like, oh, dude. Like, I just told you I am occupied. Good Lord. One of the other things that I did, it was April 1st, it was April Fool's Day, and I'm on the secondary channel, which would have been the Lean channel. So Lean in Michigan is basically NCIC and all, and that's just what they call it in Michigan for the state stuff. And so I'm sitting over there, and it's backup phones and backup radios. And one of the sergeants calls up and he's like, dude, I got something for you. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, lay it on me, because it's April Fool's Day. So I was hoping somebody was going to call to do something. And he said, I don't know how you do it, but I want you to play a prank on everyone who's on the road right now. I was like, what? Okay, let me think. So I hang up with him. And one, I figured I was going to get in trouble for it, but I was going to do it anyway. And I was the supervisor on at the time too. So the officers were all having trouble with their MCTs. They had just gotten new MCTs, new software. So I used that, and nobody had anything going on at the time. So I made sure to wait. And excuse me, what I ended up saying was, I said, Elegant Central to all stations and units, there is a new update for your MCTs that are going to be coming down here in just a moment. However, you need to be stationary. Pull off the road. You need to be stationary for about 30 seconds. The download will go through, and I will let you know over the radio when it has been completed. And there was nothing going on. There was nothing going on at the time. So everyone ends up doing it, and everyone is saying 10-4, but I'm also getting messages saying, is this for real? Is this for real? And I didn't answer any of them, and I waited just like 10 seconds. I didn't even wait that long. And I keyed up, and I ended up saying, Elegant Central to all stations and units, you may now resume normal business. I don't remember how I put it, but I said the
green flag racing.
I said the download has been completed, and also from myself, and I threw the sergeant names out there, myself and so-and-so, Sergeant so-and-so, happy April Fool's Day. And I just started laughing, and I unkeyed, and people keyed up and they're like, oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. But then I was also getting MCT messages from officers saying, you're an asshole. So then about an hour later, that sergeant comes into dispatch and he goes, dude, you're a dick. Why did you say my name? And I was like, well, I thought it was supposed to be from both of us. And then I said, I wasn't going to go down for it if I got
if we're going down, we're all going down.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But those are some of the things that happen, man, and it makes it fun because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this profession, whether it be dispatch, law enforcement, EMS, fire, all of it. That is really hard, man. And if there are some situations, because everything we've been talking about, it has nothing to do with the people that are calling. It's the situations and how certain things are dealt with, and how we're in a position where we hear these things, or some that go out there and actually see it, Superman. And and you wonder, is this real life? But and it is. This is some of the stuff that happens, and there are a chosen few who deal with those issues, and we do it to the best of our ability. And I think we're badass.
Oh
Yeah, that's how it happens. Because otherwise, if you can't find some sort of humor or anything in this profession, I mean, you're going to burn out, man. You're going to either burn out or things are just going to be bad.
Yeah, probably one of the funniest things I've ever personally heard on the radio is we used to dispatch out the fire, and then the firemen would take over and do the rest of their dispatching from their fire base. They would keep all their times and everything. And so one particular department, I'll tell you, it was by the name of La Paz. They had a guy that got a little flustered one night, got a little excited because there was a structure fire. And so he was usually the first one in there, and he would run in there and redispatch it out. So he runs in there. Attention La Paz firemen, come to the station. We got a fucking fire. Attention La Paz firemen, come to the station. We got a fucking fire. Twice. He said it twice. I fell out of my chair.
Oh my God. Yeah, because of course, once you say it, I mean, you can't put it back in, but when you say it twice, it's like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that is hilarious. And that stuff happens. I've told the story before that there was a coworker that I was going to relieve him off of radios, and apparently it had been a hard day. A lot of stuff, like back-to-back calls, just going and going and going. And he hated being on radios, but he loved his job. And so he was, of course, he was doing what he was doing. But there were just some times that he really didn't dig radios. And this was one of those times. And Jessica says, I know exactly who you are talking about.
I bet she does.
Oh, that's hilarious. And it was a domestic that was going out. It was verbal only. It was not physical or anything. It was just a verbal domestic. And they were separated and stuff. And he when he puts it out over the radio, he says, caller advised his wife has been giving him shit. And I'm standing there and I'm just staring at him, and he unkeys and he sits there for a second to let it process, and then an officer keys up and goes, Central, can you repeat what was his wife giving him? And he keys up and he goes, she's been giving him shit. It's been a long day. And then he unkeys and he looks at me and I was like, dude, you even said it back again. And he goes, Ricardo. And I was like, dude, I'm the supervisor now on here. And he's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to laugh more and I might pull the tape so I can keep it. Like,
right.
Yes. It's been hilarious. So we've got another one here that says, yeah, I probably could have handled the naked man running down the street with a butcher knife a lot better, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to ask, what does the naked man look like? She gave me a description starting with, what? He's my skinny ass. She says, the caller ends up saying, he's my skinny ass, no dick having ex-boyfriend. Oh man. See, and okay, so Lauren, you shared that. How did you respond? Like how did you do that? Because I know, me hearing it, I would want to laugh right away, or I would get my mouthpiece and move it up so that I could cover my mouth and kind of chuckle a little bit, which I would do. Lauren says the officers found him. I'm sure they did, but again, how did you deal with that over the phone? Because again, for myself, I would have started laughing. Lauren says, I muted my ass. You should know. Well, sometimes people go to hit the mute button and they slip and they don't hit the mute button, and then they're still talking, and then the caller's like, I'm sorry, is that for me?
I similar. One of my dispatchers took a call from a lady, and a guy was pleasuring himself.
Oh no!
Outside the Dollar General in his car, and the lady had to tell my dispatcher that it was fairly impressive because it was looped over top of the steering wheel.
Oh my God!
And my dispatcher at the time was just like.
Oh man,
that dispatcher told that story till the day she retired.
Holy crap. So that was no Dollar General version of it, even though that person was there. But for the caller to say it's impressive, like, okay.
It's impressive. He's got it looped over the steering wheel.
That is crazy. Lauren here says this lady was just as messed up as him, but it was definitely the call we replayed out loud for the center. Oh my Lord. Yeah, I can see that. Oh man. Well, we have just hit the 1 hour mark, my friend.
Wow, I can't believe it.
I know it went fast, right?
We couldn't even get any of these other guys to step up here.
I know. That's funny. So there's a bunch of people who are over on the other side of the camera that we were trying to get to come over here. One who has got a plate of pizza right now. We were trying to get her to come over here and share a story. And now they're ignoring us because they know that we're talking about them. But this was good either way.
I'm sure they're all hanging out for the grand prize we got to give away.
Oh.
We have an iPad that was donated to us by our IT vendor.
Dude, see, that's awesome as well. You've got vendors and everything who are donating, but also all the local places.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously they know, everything that your, women and men of this area here, what they do, right. And just the importance of it. That's amazing.
Yeah. We, like I said, the sport has been awesome. And, I have to make sure I say I am super proud of my dispatchers. I appreciate everything they do for us day in and day out. No, we're not perfect. Yeah, we say stuff on the air that we shouldn't say. Yeah, sometimes we hang up the phone or unkey the mic and cuss the person on the other end. But, day in and day out, they save lives.
Yes.
And they take that home with them. And, you and I know the statistics on PTSD and what they go through, and the fact that any of them make it, till retirement in this field is amazing. So
right.
To all of the dispatchers out there, from Marshall County, happy Telecommunicators Week. To my guys, thank you so much. I mean, I can't express enough what it means to me to be able to supervise, a crew like this. If I don't come to work and I don't do my job, yes, sometimes something happens, but if they don't come, people die.
Right.
And we also don't have really funny stories to tell.
There you go. Yes. And, to everyone else, to all of you, everyone of the Thin Gold line, thank you very much for the job that you do. Again, not many people can do it, but you are the most vital piece of public safety. And just thank you so much for the job. And that's going to wrap it up, man. From here, this has been an excellent time. We got some people here. Lauren says, happy stretchy pants week. Because that's true. There's always tons of food. And if you could see the table over there are tons of food, man. And the wings over there look amazing, which I'm going to probably jump on here in a minute once we end here. But thank you again, man, for this. This has been fun.
Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure, brother.
This is good, dude. Like, anybody else? Like, this is where it started. This is where it starts, doing this on location. So, dude, thank you for the opportunity to come and do this with you. I've known you for a while now, and it's just always been a good time to see you, and it's good to finally see you again. It's been a while, man.
It has been.
Yeah.
It's good to be able to get back and do stuff in person.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, for everyone who is out there right now watching and listening, if you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is @91podcast. You can like us on Facebook. That is facebook.com/Within the Trenches podcast. Any bonus material that you're looking for, as well as audio versions of Open Mic Live or the DRT, you can help support us on patreon.com/WTT podcast. This episode has been sponsored by InDigital, Rapid Deploy, and Carbine, and shout out to patrons as always. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter, and the flagship show Within the Trenches podcast can be heard 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. One last thing, I hope all of your numbers have gone up. I saw some of you were all above, sixes. That is great. So throw in the comments as we're going out here what your numbers are at. The both of us are way up there.
Yes.
So thank you all for joining us. And James here says he's at a 15 now. Lavelle said thank you. Had a good time. Mandy said she had a great night. Cheers to everyone. Fuzz is at a 20. So that is great. That is awesome. Have a good night, everyone. And you can also check everything out on withinthetrenches.net. Have a good night, and we'll see you in the next one.